souls. How's it going? Are y'all doing alright? So I have been in my Cancer shell since this last eclipse, and I wanted to talk about it. And you know, one of the biggest things that's come up for me is, you know, all these files were released just weeks before the anniversary of my rape, and I have been triggered. I have been triggered so hard, and there's been a lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things that's been brought up to the surface for me that I wanted to share, I wanted to talk about. One of the biggest things is, you know, I really thought that I could go through this process, I could read those files, I could have the anniversary of my rape, and I would not be triggered. And the thing is, and I have to remind myself about this a lot, okay? The thing is we always circle back to it. Always. Like, it comes back around to see if you've done the work, if you've not done the work, how much more work you need to do, all the things, right? And so I've really had to practice grace, because there's been a lot of shaming on my part and feeling like, hey, I should be further along, hey, I shouldn't be triggered, and that's just not the case. And one of the biggest things that's been a trigger for me is, you know, these are kids. These are kids that have experienced these things. And, you know, I was a young adult when I was raped, and, you know, it didn't happen in my childhood. However, I have lived through the direct cause and effect of that severe root trauma. It has completely changed my life as an adult, the trajectory that I was on, in the direction that I was going to go in, the choices that I've made in regards of so many things, relationships, the bare minimum that I would accept. And so one of the biggest things that has been really hard for me was the amount of empathy and putting myself in their shoes of what they've been through. And, you know, those that have survived and have come out and continue to talk about it and continue to be a voice for the voiceless. And, you know, then it takes me down another road. Like, where did they find their strength, their willpower to do those things and be those things and say those things and continue the good fight? Because there's some days that I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't look at the files. I can't talk about these things, because there's still more work that needs to be done. And so there's been a lot come up to the surface for me, and I do what I've always done. My protection mechanisms, like, they're not the best. I go into my Cancer shell and I protect, I isolate, and I do a lot of introflection of where I'm at, what's going on, what's being brought up, and I really just sit with that stuff until I feel safe enough and I've gone through enough self-soothing to be able to come out of my shell. And so there's just been a lot. There's been a lot brought up, and there's been a big part of me going, like, how do people not believe that this is happening? How do people not see that this is happening? How do people still believe that this is a conspiracy of all the things that's been released? And, you know, I'll be back to my normal self here pretty soon. This happens every single year. Some years it's easier, some years, like this year, it's a little bit more challenging. But I had some first for me, and some things that I did that I've never been able to do. Specifically, Valentine's Day, I took myself out. I was in the public having dinner on Valentine's Day. Do you know did that, like, we're talking years. Years upon years upon years upon years, okay? Because again, I avoided everything that had to do with that holiday because of that trauma. So, I just wanted to share where I'm at, what's going on, because I have been extremely silent, and I'm alive. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. But anyway, I love you all. Stay safe. I can't get the word out. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. Stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you guys.